my name is Lin Xiaodou. I am so ordinary that I can't be more ordinary. Every day, I pass the standard life of checking in at 9 o'clock, getting off work at 5 o'clock, and going home to GUI lying down. To be honest, I don't have any big ambitions. My biggest dream is to win a 5 million lottery, then resign and go to the world to travel, and then become a legendary figure in the funny world. Well, the second half of the sentence is purely my brain, but after all, I can't even talk about it well. How could it become a legend? However, life is something that I always like to give you some surprises. That night, when I got home from get off work, I was brushing my phone on the sofa as usual. As I brushed, I saw an inexplicable advertising window, writing, "Congratulations on being selected. Click to determine the super system immediately and start a life of reversal." I thought to myself, the ads that were so old-fashioned these days, who would have been? As a result, my hand shook and I kept clicking. The next second, a sudden sound of a sage sound came to my brain, ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully deciding the sand sculpture system 007. This system will take you to the peak of life and become an invincible legend in the funny world. Now the first mission is released. Please put on the inner penis within 10 minutes and run to the small area below the building and shout 3 times, "I am Superman, otherwise you will be punished by electric shock." I was completely confused at that time. What was it? System? Mission? Electric? What the hell is this? I didn't react yet, and the sound came back again, with a hint of impatience. "Host, don't be stunned, it's still 9 minutes, otherwise the electric shock is not a joke." I looked down and saw that there was an inverted count on the phone screen. The numbers were still ticking, and there was a line of small words next to it. When the electric shock was counted, warm reminder, this system is never stupid, the electric shock is very good. I rushed over with 10,000 grass mud in my heart. What kind of broken system is this? Why does it still have the properties of a poisonous tongue? But to be honest, although I am a little bitch, I am still quite afraid of the shooting. When I really come, my little body can't stand it. So I gritted my teeth, rummaged through the box and found the most broken inner pants, put them on, and then snatched one side down the floor. There are quite a few people on the small area, including big mothers dancing on the court, big dog walking, and a few little kids playing skateboarding. I stood in the middle of the building, took a deep breath, and thought to myself, "Lin Xiaodou, what are you afraid of? I just shout 3 times. Just let the person be killed. It's better than being hit by the electric shock." So I opened my voice and shouted the first voice, "I am Superman." After a while, the square suddenly became quiet. Everyone turned over to look at me, their eyes filled with shock and confusion. Several mothers even stopped dancing and started recording images with their mobile phones. I had a red face, but when I thought of the threat of the electric shock, I yelled the second voice, "I am Superman." At this time, a little kid couldn't help laughing and shouted, "Uncle, your pants are wearing the pants in the back." I looked down and sure enough, the cartoon pattern on the pants was exposed outside. I was always trying to find a place to diamond it. But when I was still jumping, I didn't want to stop, so I could only close my eyes and shout out the last voice, "I am Superman." After shouting these 3 sounds, the magnificent voice in my brain finally echoed, ding. The mission is completed. Congratulations to the host for winning a gift package for the novice. Award, a knife to cheat. Please check it. Before I could figure out what a knife was, I felt a broken knife suddenly appeared in my hand, which looked like the kind of goods that cost 5 or 3 on the ground. I thought to myself, why is this system so unreliable? Is the reward given to this thing? As a result, the knife suddenly shook itself and made a more remarkable sound. "Hey, brother, I'm a knife that cheats my father, and the weapon is here. I'll take a lot of attention in the future. But let me first say, my knife is not a regular knife, and it may turn into something else when you are in the key moment, ha ha ha." After hearing this, I almost threw the knife away. What does it mean to turn key moments into something else? Isn't this explicitly trying to cheat me? I didn't have time to complain, and the system sounded again, ding. New mission is released. Please sing a love song in dialect at tomorrow's company meeting, otherwise the penalty will be doubled. The reward after the mission is completed, funny value plus 10. When I heard this task, I had only one thought in my brain: is this broken system sick? Do you sing love songs at company meetings, or use dialect? Do I still want this job? But when I thought of the sound of electric shock, I could only stand down. Early the next morning, I came to the company with dark circles on my face, thinking about how to complete this broken task. Our company is a small advertising company with few employees, but the boss is the owner of a special love club. Every Monday, we have a passionate morning meeting to let everyone report their progress in their work. I sat in the last row of the meeting room, pretending to look at the documents with my head low, and my brain was full of the lyrics of the dialect romance song. Not long after the meeting started, the boss started to make people speak out. My heart beat like a drum, and the sound of the system was still urging in my brain, "Host, don't worry, the opportunity is here, sing. Otherwise, the electric shock will not wait for anyone." I gritted my teeth and thought to myself, I'll fight. So when the boss clicked my name, I stood up, cleared my throat, and started singing in the most authentic hometown, "Sister, why don't you ignore me? It's so hard in my heart." As soon as I opened my mouth, everyone on the scene was stunned. The boss's eyes were almost falling off, and his colleagues were holding his face to the point of laughter. A new student laughed and drank the coffee in his hand. After I finished singing the last sentence, I sat down with my head and pretended nothing happened. The boss coughed twice and said embarrassingly, "Lin Xiaodou, you are quite creative. Let's talk about work next time." I lowered my head and heard the sound of the system in my heart, ding. The mission is completed. Congratulations to the host for getting a funny value of plus 10. The current funny value, 10. Warm reminder, the funny value can be replaced with special skills, and keep working hard. I thought to myself, what skills are not skilled? I have lost all my face, what future can I have? But it's strange. After this incident, my colleagues seem to have changed a little bit. Although they would still joke about this, they always felt that there was a little more in their eyes when they looked at me, admiration. Especially the real-life Xiaoli, who asked me every day, "Brother Do, why are you so arrogant? You dare to sing at conferences. It's so awesome." I smiled bitterly in my heart, awesome, I'm forced to do it. After get off work, I was about to go home, but the dead party called me and said I wanted to ask me for a meal. Zhang Daking and I are brothers who have been playing together since childhood. This guy usually has nothing serious about it, but whenever he has any strange ideas, he will ask me to die. I heard that he wanted to invite a guest. Lima thought there was a cat, but he couldn't resist the fight and went there. When I arrived at the hotel, Zhang Daking laughed like a fool when he saw me, saying, "Xiaodou, did you hear that you were singing love songs in the company today? Ha ha ha, why don't you ask me to listen?" I glared at him with no gaze and said, "Don't mention it, I'm almost dead in the club." As a result, the guy not only did not comfort me, but also took out his phone and said, "Come on, let's take a video and post it online, and I might be popular." I was anxious as soon as I heard this and said, "It's not too much, it's not a bad person if it's popular." But Zhang De cheated this person, who was a man who could not achieve his goal and never stop. He forced me to shoot a video, which was about me pretending to be a microphone with chopsticks and singing a dialect romance song. After the filming, he said proudly, "Xiaodou, believe me, we will definitely become a netizen." I thought to myself, it is impossible to become a net red, and it is almost the same as a laughingstock. Unexpectedly, when I swiped my phone the next morning, I found that this video was really popular. The scale exceeded 10,000. The comment area was ha ha ha. Many people also left messages saying, "This guy is so funny, please give me more videos." I looked at these comments and felt a little confused. How could I say that? I was a little happy, but more helpless. At this moment, the system sounded again, ding. I detected that the host's funny value increased. Special mission contact, please go to the supermarket to buy limited edition noodles after getting off work today. The mission completed. The prize, funny value plus 20, failure penalty, double the electric shock. After hearing this mission, I almost threw my phone away. What's the matter? Superman's pants? Shred noodles? Is this system trying to let me never see anyone? But there was no way, and the impact of the electric shock was still there, so I could only prepare. After get off work, I secretly changed into the back wearing underwear, put on a big jacket on the outside, and sneaked to the big supermarket near my home. There are many people in the supermarket, and there are already a bunch of people in front of the shelves of limited edition noodles. I thought to myself, how can I get rid of this? What should I do if I get recognized by others? As a result, the system sounded again, "Host, don't be too slow, you'll be thrusting." Otherwise, the electric shock would not be waiting for anyone. I gritted my teeth, removed my coat, exposed the Superman pants inside, and shouted, "I am Superman for the sake of noodles." Then I rushed to the shelf. As I shouted, everyone in the supermarket turned to look at me. Some were laughing and some were taking pictures with their mobile phones. I couldn't see that much. I grabbed 2 packets of soaked noodles in front of the shelf, and then ran away. After running out of the supermarket, I leaned on the road panting, thinking that the person was getting too big this time, but the system sounded, "Ding." The mission was completed. Congratulations to the host for getting a funny value of plus 20. The current funny value, 30. Warm reminder, the funny value will be unlocked for the new skill, and keep working hard. After hearing this, I only had one idea in my mind: work hard and it's not too much for me. However, although this broken system is not reliable, every time I complete the task, I always feel that life seems to have a little more different colors. Just like in the supermarket, although it was lost, when I ran out, I heard someone shouting from behind, "Brother Superman, awesome." At that moment, I was a little proud. When I got home, I was about to prepare the pastry that I had just been caught, but Zhang Daking called again and said, "Xiaodou, I just photographed the supermarket incident and went online. You are popular again." Ha ha ha, Superman's pants, it's absolutely. After hearing this, I almost threw the pastry away and thought to myself, can you still pass this day? However, life is always a surprise. Just when I thought all this was just a joke, the knife blade suddenly shook itself and made the sound of awesome. "Hey, brother, don't relax. There is a big thing waiting for you tomorrow. Our knife is not for nothing." After hearing this, my heart skipped a beat. What big thing is it? Isn't it another trick? At the same time, the system sounded, "Ding." I detected that the host's funny value reached 30, and unlocked the new skill, Sand Sculpture Light Ring. Effect: people around me will be inexplicably infected by your sand sculpture behavior and will automatically join your funny action. The new mission is about to be released, please be prepared. After hearing this, I only had one idea in my brain: why is this broken system becoming more and more unfair? The next morning, I got up with a pair of bear and cat eyes on my head, and was still thinking about the big event and the sand sculpture mentioned by the system yesterday. In fact, I have no expectations for this new skill that breaks the system. What do people around me mean that I am infected by my silly behavior? Isn't this just saying that I will drag others into the water too? Although I am not very upright, I don't want to be tired of others. Just as Usia was thinking, a sudden ding sound in his brain, and the familiar voice of Feng Cece started to sound again. "Good morning, host. The new mission is here. Today your mission is, take your dead party whole, go to the most popular commercial street in the city center, wear strange clothes to perform a street art. The theme is Crocodile Jump. Mission completion bonus, funny value plus 30, failure penalty, double the electric shock. Warm reminder, the sand sculpture light ring has been activated, be ready to welcome your fans." After hearing this task, I almost rolled down from the bed. What's the thing? A strange costume? Street behavior art? Or the chicken and dog jump? This system wants me to die directly in front of the people of the city. I retorted, 007, are you sick? There are so many people in the city center. If I go there, I will have to go to the social news tomorrow. As a result, the system did not treat me at all and sneered, "Host, don't worry, the social news headline is also a headline. Besides, with the blessing of the sand sculpture light ring, what are you afraid of? Maybe I can still attract a wave of true fans. It takes 24 hours to catch the time, otherwise the power will not wait for anyone. After saying this, it specially added a beep counter-hour sound effect, which made my head numb. I would be stunned when I sat on the bed, thinking that I really couldn't pass this day. But when I thought of the sound of the phone, I still felt sorry for it, so I picked up my phone and called Jean Daking. As soon as the guy answered the phone, he asked happily, "Xiaodou, what's wrong? Are you looking for me?" I said unhappily, "It's fun, but the system has made me a broken task. I want to go to the city center to do art. The theme where the chicken or the dog jump, are you here?" Jean Daking heard the sound of the horse and the leopard came to froze, crossing and dog jumping. "This will be exciting. You must go. I will go to Taobao to buy a set of chicken fur, we will wear one by one, so we will be sure to explode the street." I heard his excited words, rolled my eyes in my heart, and said, "You can pull it down, don't be too arrogant, can we be low-key?" As a result, the guy didn't listen to it, and before he quit the phone, he said, "Xiaodou, believe me, we will definitely be popular all over the internet this time." After hanging up the phone, I felt a desperate expectation in my heart, but I couldn't help but make preparations. In the afternoon, Jean Daking and I met in the city center. This guy did not disappoint me. He was wearing a bright yellow chicken dress and a big chicken crown hat on his head, which looked like a human-shaped big cock. I felt ache at first glance and said, "Big Pit, are you so high tuning, right? What about low tuning?" He looked proud and said, "What are you doing low tuning? Don't you have to be proud of your behavior? Come on, you can wear this dog dress, so we will definitely match." I looked down and saw that he was holding a set of gray dog fur in his hand and his ears were still drooping. I felt a sudden urge to die. But the system was still ticking in my brain when it was counterattacking, so I could only grit my teeth and put it on. After dressing, I took the lens and almost didn't recognize myself. This look is definitely a down-and-out native dog. When I arrived at the business street, it was indeed crowded with people. The road was full of love, parents with children, and many online videos were taking short videos. Jean Daking and I stood on the street, took a deep breath, and thought to myself, let's just let the person go, let's do it, fight quickly. So I cleared my throat and began to imitate the dog barking, "Wom wool." Jean Daking was not willing to be outdone, and Lima followed the chicken and shouted, "Gee." As soon as I opened my mouth, the people around me were instantly attracted, and stopped to look at the hottest. Someone started taking a mobile phone shot, and a little brother started the live broadcast directly, shouting in his mouth, "Brothers, come and watch it, this person is so funny." I felt awkward in my heart, but the system mission required a performance for 10 minutes, so I could only continue with my head. Jean Daking was having a lot of fun and was about to play. He started to rush and pretended to bite me like a dog. I was sweating heavily by him, so I could only cooperate with the full-blown blow, and my mouth was still woofing. Just when I thought this 10 minutes was so long, something wonderful happened. Several young people who were watching the hottest suddenly joined in. One of the guys wearing glasses took off his coat and learned how I was woofed, and the other young lady followed Jean Daking and said giggled. I was stunned at that time and thought to myself, what's going on? As a result, the system sounded in my brain, ding. The effect of the sand sculpture light ring is getting bigger, and the crowd around has been infected by your sand sculpture behavior. I will automatically join the performance. Host, continue to work hard, and the funny value is rising. After hearing this, I felt a little confused. What is a sand sculpture? It is clearly for me to drag others to destroy others. But it's strange to say that, watching these strangers rushing with us, I was a little excited and felt like a big brother with my head. So, I simply let it go and started running around the street with this helper, and shouted in my mouth, "Chicken fly and dog dance, there is no enemy in the world." Jean Daking also followed, and danced a strange chicken dance on his head, and the atmosphere exploded directly. 10 minutes later, the mission ended. Jean Daking and I were exhausted and panting. The people who were infected on the side slowly spread out, but there were still many people around us to take photos, and a young lady even came over and asked, "Brother, are you doing art? It's so creative. Can you add WeChat?" I smiled embarrassedly and said, "This is pure entertainment, just entertainment." I was thinking in my heart, "System, your lighting effect is too subdued." At this moment, the system sounded, ding. The mission was completed. Congratulations to the host for the funny value plus 30. The current funny value, 60. Warm reminder, the funny value will be unblocked the new prize, so keep working hard. After listening to this, I felt a little balanced. Although I was unsuccessful, I was at least rewarded, right? However, this matter is not finished yet. Just as Zhang Daking and I were about to retreat, the knife blade suddenly shook in my pocket and made the familiar voice, "Hey, brother, don't hurry to leave, there is something good to see in front of me." As soon as I heard this, my heart skipped a beat. What's the point? What do you want to fuck this broken knife? Sure enough, without walking 2 steps, I saw several gangsters in the corner of the street wearing air, surrounded by a boss selling air balls to protect the cost. The boss looked quite frustrated, holding a string of air balls in his hand, and was still begging for a favor, "Little brother, my small business is really nothing." The few gangsters refused to do anything, and one of them directly grabbed a string of air balls, shouting in his mouth, "No money? Don't do business if you have no money. Go far away." When I saw this scene, I felt a little unhappy. Although I don't have any heroic feelings, I still can't stand the matter of bullying the elderly. Zhang Daking also came over and said in a low voice, "Xiaodou, do we care about it? These guys are not easy to mess with." I gritted my teeth and said, "Share. Although we are not good, we can't watch the boss be bullied." After saying that, I took out the knife from my pocket and thought, "It's a magic weapon, can you always help me when you are in the key?" As a result, I just held the hilt of the knife and the sound came to my voice, "Hey, brother, are you ready to accept my God's assist? Look at my great skills." I was delighted, and I wonder if this broken knife finally needs to be repaired once. I walked to the gangsters with a knife, cleared my throat, and said, "Hey, a few brothers, it's not good to bully the old man, right? Why don't you give me face, forget it." After hearing the gangsters, Lemma turned over, and one of the guys with yellow hair sneered, "Yee, where is the fool, who is still wearing a dog dress? Want a hero to save the beauty? Let's see how many pounds I have." I thought to myself, how can I hear this familiar, heroes save beauty? This is obviously a hero who saves the duh, okay. However, I didn't have time to complain, so I stood up and lifted the knife to the pit, and was about to come to the bottom of my way, and shouted in my mouth, "Look at my magical artifact, subdue demons and eliminate demons." As a result, when the knife was lifted up, I heard a puff sound, and the blade suddenly turned into a big banana, hanging in my hand, and the scene was instantly calm. The gangsters were stunned for a moment, and then burst into laughter. Huang Ma laughed so hard that she couldn't stand up. "Ha ha, brother, are you making fun of bananas? Come here, I won't bully you, give you face, let's go." After saying that, they really didn't let the boss go, smiled and slammed. I stood there, holding the banana in my hand, my face was green. The knife of the father made another sound. "Hey, brother, why are you? My assist is good, right? I scared you away without any effort." I was so angry that I almost threw the banana and shouted, "It's a fart to scare you, right? Is it okay for someone to laugh? Is it so bad that I'm going to run away? I'm so useless." But it's strange to say that the boss was quite grateful. He walked over with a stubborn look and said, "Young man, thank you. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have saved this ball." I smiled embarrassedly and said, "Dawei, you have nothing to do, take care of yourself." I was thinking in my heart, what kind of hero is this to save Dawei? It's obviously a banana to save Dawei. Zhang Daking was holding his face to the point of laughter and patted my shoulder, saying, "Xiaodou, your knife is so awesome. It's a banana at the critical moment, ha ha, it's absolutely." I glared at him with a bad look and said, "Why are you laughing? Isn't it too funny to let the chicken dog jump just now? As a result, this guy was completely indifferent, so he took out his phone and said, "Come on, let's take a video and release the Banana Heroes incident online, and it's guaranteed to be popular again." I was anxious as soon as I heard this, saying, "It's a fart, it's a joke if it's just a hit." But Jean de cheated this person, who is a disgusting person. He forced me to take a video, and the content was that I was holding a banana in pose, and I had to shout in my mouth, "I'm a banana hero, I'm not convinced." After the filming, he said proudly, "Xiaodou, believe me, we will definitely become a big network this time." I felt helpless in my heart, but to be honest, after these few tasks, I seemed a little immune to the incident of trashing people. Although I was pitted by the system and the knife blade every time, after each mission was completed, I could always hear someone around me saying awesome or too funny. I think this feeling, how could it be a little cool? When I got home, I was about to take a hot bath and relax, but the system sounded again, ding. I detected that the host's funny value reached 60, and unlocked the new reward, sand sculpture prop box. Effect: draw a sand sculpture prop at random to help you complete the next task. The new task is about to be released, please prepare. After hearing this, I only had one idea in my mind: why is this broken system not over yet? At the same time, the knife blade shook and made a sound. "Hey, brother, don't relax, there will be more exciting things waiting for you tomorrow. Our knife is not for nothing." After hearing this, my heart skipped a beat. What exciting things are there? Isn't it another trick? However, life is always a surprise. Just when I thought all this was just a joke, my phone suddenly fell into the air, and Zhang Daking's loud voice came from the listening tube. "Xiaodou, I just took a photo of the business street and went online. The name of your banana hero is so popular. Ha ha ha, let's take a look at the new style tomorrow, how about it?" I heard his smile, and my heart was full of turmoil. How did you say that it was hot, but this name was too awkward? After hanging up the phone of Zhang Daking, I was on the sofa, and I still recalled the 4 words banana hero in my brain, and I felt like I was missing. To be honest, I was so scared by the system and the knife blade these days. Although I was killed and sent to my grandma's house every time I worked, I felt a little proud of myself when I looked at the comments on the internet and the admiration look that people around me often came in from time to time. Could it be that this is the first step in the funny world? But when this idea came out, I slapped myself and woke up Lin Xiaodou. You are more of a laughing stock than a joke, and you are still far away from the legend. Just as Usi was thinking, a sudden ding sound in his brain, and the familiar voice of Feng Sisi resounded again. "Host, don't be stunned, the new mission is coming. This mission is the final challenge, and the system will be unblocked after completion. Mission content: 3 days later, a Sand Sculpture Heroes conference will be held in the largest venue in the city center. You need to call at least 50 people participate in the performance of a collective sand sculpture art on the spot, with the theme of Save the World starting from funny. Mission completion bonus, funny value plus 100, and finally the number is there is no enemy legend in the funny world. Failure penalty, the electric shock is 10 times, and the system is permanently detached. Warm reminder, the sand sculpture light ring has been fully upgraded, and the sand sculpture prop box has been prepared. Host, please wipe it out." After hearing this task, my brain was directly on the plane. What's the thing? Sand Sculpture Heroes Conference? Calling 50 people? Collective behavior art? Is this system trying to let me die directly in front of the people of the city and then be loaded into a funny history? There is also the failure penalty. I won't say what is the permanent detachment of the system. Isn't this just a change of threats and I have to complete it? I protested. 007, your mission is too distant, right? Where can I find 50 people to accompany me to sack people? Besides, is there no evidence that there is a place in the city center building that can be carried out at will? As a result, the system kept on treating me as usual and sneered. Host, don't worry, the upgraded version of the sand sculpture light ring is not a bad thing. It's a matter of minutes to call people. As for the permit? Do you still need permission to prove the legend of the funny world? Don't worry, this system will help you solve all logistics problems. Just perform. It takes 3 days to get the time tight, otherwise the tenfold sound is not a joke. After speaking, it specially added a do-do counter-time sound effect, which made me panic. I would be stunned when I sat on the sofa, thinking that I was really fine this time. 50 people, this is not something you can play with. Is it hard to rely on that silly world to fool people? As the conversation was about to happen, the knife of the pit suddenly shook in my pocket and made a more pleasing voice. Hey, brother, don't worry, this big scene is suitable for my great skills. 3 days later, I guarantee that I will surprise you, ha ha ha. When I heard this, I felt even more panicked. What a surprise. Isn't the shock of breaking sword just a cheating person? There is no way out, and now that I have come to this point, I can only start preparing. That night, I called Zhang Daking and told him all the tasks. When the guy heard this, the llama came to flee and shouted, Xiaodou, this is a big scene. What's the point of 50 people? Let's bring my friends and your online fans. Maybe you can kill 100 people. Come on, let's start planning. The theme is Save the World starts with funny, right? Then we have to have a big fight, such as the whole crew wears strange clothes, dances on the scene, and there must be a big boss for you to defeat. How about it? I heard his nonsense, rolled my eyes in my heart and said, Big Pit, you can pull it down. What big boss? This is our behavioral art, not filming movies. Besides, how could so many people want to accompany us to get rid of people? As a result, Zhang de Pit was completely insignificant, and patted his chest and said, Don't worry, hand it over to me. I'll contact you now, and I guarantee that I'll bring you a like-minded brother in 3 days. After hanging up the phone, I still felt unsure, but seeing Zhang Daking's excited and frugality, I couldn't take the cold water, so I could only take one step first. In the next 2 days, Zhang Daking and I were busy like a top. He was responsible for helping others and I was responsible for planning the performance content. In fact, I have no experience in this collective activity. The only thing I can think of is to string together the previous tasks, such as chicken flying, dog jumping, banana hero and so on, and with the rush to get out of here, it should be able to fool around together, right? At the same time, the system was not idle, and urged me in my brain at any time, Host, what's the progress? Is there any man's handy? Are you ready for the performance? Don't drop the chain at that time. I replied without any hesitation, what's the urging? I didn't see that I'm busy. As a result, it snorted coldly, it's a good thing to be busy, but don't forget that there is something good in the sand sculpture prop box. Remember to draw one, it may help you. When I heard this, my heart moved. What prop box? I haven't used the previous rewards for unlocking. Can Wani really help? So I followed the system prompts and clicked a draw button in my brain. The next second, I suddenly had an old paper box in my hand, with 5 big words Sand Sculpture Props Box written on it. I opened it and found that there was a golden crown inside, which looked like the color of 10 money 3 on the ground. I thought to myself, what can this thing be fucked? As a result, the system sounded, ding. Congratulations to the host for drawing the Sand Sculpture Crown. The effect, after wearing it, it can enhance the Sand Sculpture Light effect. The intention of people around to participate in the sand sculpture behavior is increased by 200%. Warm reminder, this prop is a disposable consumable and is only effective in this mission. If you wear it, you will be the king of sand sculpture. After listening to this introduction, my face was dark. What is the king of sand sculpture? Isn't this just making me a bigger laughingstock? But when I thought about it, this thing can improve my participation intentions and say it may really help me with the number of people, so I gritted my teeth, put the crown away, and decided to use it again at the key moment. The 3rd day is the mission deadline. Zhang Daking and I arrived at the city center early in the morning. There were already dozens of people waiting at the venue. They were all friends brought by Zhang Daking, and some fans who volunteered to come after seeing me on the video online. I roughly counted the number, there were about 40 people, and the goal of leaving 50 people was still a little different, but it was much better than I expected. Some of these people were wearing strange clothes, some were holding homemade props, and a guy was carrying a big sound directly, saying that he wanted to give us a playground, and the atmosphere suddenly became hot. Zhang Daking looked at this scene and patted my shoulder proudly and said, "Xiaodou, what's the matter?" I said, "It can work. These helpers are all under your name Banana Hero. Today we have to show off and fight for it again." I smiled embarrassedly and thought to myself, if you are not hot, don't be burned by the urban management. As I was speaking, the system sounded in my brain, ding. I detected that the number of people is close to the target. The Sand Sculpture Heroes Conference is about to begin. Host, prepare your performance. Warm reminder, the Sand Sculpture Crown Effect is about to start. Put it on, take your Sand Sculpture army, and move towards the funny peak. When I heard this, my heart skipped a beat. What is the Sand Sculpture Army? Why is this system becoming more and more unrighteous? But now that's the matter, I don't have time to complain. I took out the golden sand sculpture crown from my pocket, took a deep breath, and put it on. It's strange to say that when I put it on, I suddenly felt that I had an inexplicable king's aura. A sense of inexplicable confidence arose in my heart, and I couldn't help but shout in my mouth, "Brothers and sisters, today we are the sculpting heroes. Saving the world starts with funny things, scrupulous." With this voice, the people on the scene were instantly ignited, and they kept shouting, "Scrupulous. The sculpting hero is invincible in the world." When I saw this scene, I wondered in my heart that the effect of this sand sculpture light ring was too strong. How could I feel like a cult head? But before thinking too much, the performance officially began. The helper first started to dance a self-created sand sculpture dance together, and the movement was so impressive. Some people learned to snatch the chicken, some learned to snatch the dog, and a young lady took the ball as props and flew around the field. She kept laughing at the scene, and the audience gathered more and more, and many people even took photos with their mobile phones. Then, we began to regain our previous classic tasks, such as crocodile dog jump and banana hero. Zhang Daking and I were heading and carrying everyone around the field, and we were shouting various sand sculptures in our mouths. The atmosphere exploded directly. At this moment, the knife blade suddenly shook in my pocket and made the sound of "Cece, hey, brother, how can I lose me in the big scene? Look at my assist." My heart skipped a beat. What assist? What do you want to fuck this broken knife? As a result, the next second, the knife blade in my hand suddenly sounded like a poof and turned into a huge foam rod with 4 big words "sand sculptures" and "no enemies" written on it. My face was green at that time and I thought to myself, this broken knife has never been trusted. But it's strange. As soon as this foam stick appeared, the people on the scene became even more excited. Someone ran over to take photos, and some shouted, "Sand Sculpture Hero, awesome. This prop is absolutely." I smiled embarrassedly, and could only continue to perform with the foam stick, and I was thinking in my heart, the blade of the dad, your assist is too cripple. Halfway through the performance, more and more people were watching, and there were almost no water on the scene. I roughly estimate that there were more than 50 people involved, and many passers-by were even infected by the sand sculptures and actively joined in, and the scene was simply a porridge. At this moment, the system sounded, ding. It was detected that the number of participants had reached the mark, and the Sand Sculpture Heroes Conference was successful. Congratulations to the host for completing the final challenge and earning a funny value of plus 100. The current funny value, 160. The ultimate name, the unrivaled legend of the funny world, has been unblocked. Warm reminder, the system's final prize has been released, please check it. After hearing this, I felt excited and finally finished. What is the ultimate prize? I want to see what this broken system can make me look like. As a result, the next second, there was an additional tip in my brain, the final prize. The sand sculpture system is permanently determined, and the host will become the system's only spokesperson. In the future, you can customize the mission content and start a new funny adventure. At the same time, unlock the funny spreader skill. The effect, your sand sculpture behavior will automatically generate short videos, and you can push it online without uploading, instantly detonating traffic. After listening to this prize, my face was stiff. What is permanent defense? I still thought I could destroy this broken system by completing the task, but I still had to continue to be broken? But this custom mission and funny propagator's skills sound good. Maybe it can really make me a legendary figure in the funny world? Just as Uxi's mind, Zhang Dakin came over and said with a smile as if he was foolish, "Xiaodou, how is this scene? Is this scene so popular today?" I said we can be popular. Now the internet is full of our videos, and the Sand Sculpture Heroes Conference has been on the hot search. When I heard this, Lima took out his phone and saw that, sure enough, the first hot search was the Sand Sculpture Heroes Conference. When I clicked on it, I found that it was all videos and photos from the scene. The review area was even more explosive. Some people said, "This guy is so awesome. He is helping people with behavioral arts," and I laughed to death. Some people also said, "Sand Sculpture Hero, please debut, I want to fan you." Looking at these comments, I felt a little confused. How could I say, although I was ruined, it seemed that it was really popular this time, and it was quite popular. At this moment, a sudden sensation came from the side of the building. I turned around and saw several uniformed urban management officers passing by. An uncle with his eyebrows said, "Who is the person in charge? Is there any proof of this activity in the building? Why is it getting bigger and bigger?" My heart skipped a beat and it was damaged. The system said it would solve the logistics problem. Why didn't it solve this problem? I was about to unravel the slimly, but the system sounded, "Ding." I detected the sudden situation, and the sand sculpture light ring was urgently activated. "Host, don't panic, watch me operate." The next second, something happened. The urban management uncles suddenly stopped and one of them actually took off his hat. They danced the sand sculpture dance as we just made a move, and shouted in their mouths, "Sand Sculpture Hero, there is no enemy in the world." Several others also joined, and the atmosphere exploded in an instant, and the audience burst out with laughter and laughed back and forth. I stood there, my brain was blank, and I thought to myself, "System, your light is too remote, can even urban management be infected?" But it's strange. At this time, the urban management uncle didn't pursue the proof of the matter. After dancing, the uncle on his head walked over and patted me on the shoulder and said, "Young man, your activity is quite creative. Although there is no proof, because everyone is so happy, I'll forget it this time. I remember to apply in advance next time." I was busy and said, "Thank you uncle, thank you uncle." I was thinking in my heart, "System, your operation has saved my life." After the event, Zhang Daking and I took someone to the road and ate the roasted roast. We ate and talked about today's performance. The atmosphere was so warm. Someone suggested, "Brother Xiaodou, your name is so popular. Will you have to do more of this kind of activity in the future? We all follow you." I smiled embarrassedly and said, "What are you doing? Today I just play hard, I didn't expect to be so big." As a result, Zhang Daking interrupted, "What's wrong with playing hard? Play hard can achieve great things. Xiaodou, we will form a sand sculpture hero group in the future to do this kind of behavioral art, and maybe it can really become a legend in the funny world." I heard his words and felt moved. To be honest, although I was so desperate that I was being broken by the system these days, looking at the helping people laughing so happily, and the comments on the internet that supported me, I suddenly felt that it seemed that it was not that difficult to go by the way of being funny. Maybe, it is really not a dream to become a legend in the funny world? Just as I was thinking, my phone suddenly hit me. When I saw it, it was a strange number. I picked it up and heard that the other party called himself the manager of a network banking company. He said, "Mr. Lin Xiaodou, right? We watched your video of the sand sculpture heroes and thought you were very capable. I wanted to sign with you to create a professional funny IP. How come I'm interested in chatting?" After hearing this, my mind was a little confused and thought to myself, why did someone really come to me? Can I really go on the road of funny? At the same time, the system sounded in my brain again, "Ding." I found that the new chapter of the host's life is about to be opened. The sand sculpture system will accompany it throughout the process, and the next stage of the task will be released soon. Please prepare for the invincible legendary road of the host and the funny world, and it will just begin. As I heard this, my heart was full of turmoil. How could I say, although this broken system is not reliable, life seems to be really interesting with it. I hung up the phone, looked at Zhang Daking, who was still beside me, and his silly brother who had been helping me to get a new understanding, and suddenly laughed out loud. What if it's strange or not? Let's bake the one in front of you first and eat it. Let's talk about tomorrow's business tomorrow.